Lightly dust a sausage of paste using a cornflour bag. Turn it over and press it in all along the cavity. Trim away any excess from the end. Apply pressure with your finger approximately halfway along the length and insert the scraper just behind it. Hold the scraper low to the mould and slice towards your finger. The downward pressure will stop the paste from being pushed out of the cavity. As you trim the excess from one portion, move your finger along, apply pressure once more and then trim. Smooth before turning the mould and removing the rest of the excess. Gently run a fine palette knife blade along the edge of the cavity to trim away any feathery edges. Do not add any pressure to the knife, since this may cause damage to the mould. Keep the knife fairly flat so that you do not cut away the depth of the frame piece. Turn and repeat on the other side. Use a sharp point to release the paste at one end, then peel. Measure the circumference of the cake and make a paper sleeve to fit around the sides. Decide how many frame drops are required and fold the paper so a curve can be cut out the number of repeats around the cake. The point should be lower than the point where the frame will be attached. Pipe a small bead of softened icing on the top edge of the cake above the template point. Gently press the ends of the frame into position, letting it droop naturally. Do not pipe along the frame because this would stop the occurrence of a natural curve. Using a sharp knife or cutting wheel, cut around the edge of a suitable template. Remove the cutout and replace with a piece of different colours. Smooth the edges of the insert. Moulded lengths of frame are placed over the joint between the cream and blue pastes. Remember that you will need to mitre the corners so they fit together. Use a Dresden tool or silicone shaper where necessary to neaten. Trim the excess and then smooth the length of the frame. To make longer lengths of moulding, peel away from the cavity and move the piece along so that the excess from one end can also be moulded. Be careful not to press down where the pre-moulded length sits over the edge of the mould. Trim and smooth once again. Peel the paste out of the cavity gently to minimise any stretching. To make a collar, measure out a length of frame of suitable length for your size of cake. Trim each end of the length at an angle so it will join neatly to the pieces next to them. Use a template to position the frame collar so that it could be bent into position and left to dry. Use a piece of foam to wrap around the sides of the covered cake. Hold in position and secure with a long pin so that you can rotate the cake a little and then tie with a piece of wool. Rest the frame collar in position on top of the cake. The foam will support the frame so that you can check the positioning before securing into place. Lift one piece of frame and pipe a small bead of softened icing beneath the ends of the collar. Reposition the frame. Use a Dresden tool or paintbrush to remove any excess icing. Repeat with each length of collar. Continue until all pieces are attached to the cake. Attach a small moulded square to cover the joins. Leave for the icing to dry and then remove the foam wrap. It will compress so it can be removed easily. Match and attach the design around the cake board, then add the cake side decoration if required. Dust a long sausage of paste with a little corn flour. Turn face down and place into the oval cavity. Use your fingers to press and move the paste around the curve. Bring the ends together, and when the pressure is applied, the paste will become bonded together and will be smooth when completed. Use a palette knife to trim away a section of the excess. Turn the mould and trim. If too long a length of excess builds up, cut this away as necessary. Once removed from the mould, moisten the reverse of the frame and attach an oval of blue paste to create the plaque base. Turn and place to dry. It is beneficial to be able to remove moulded items before they dry. Peel gently, being careful not to stretch the piece, and adjust the final positioning before leaving for a few seconds to dry. Transfer onto the base of the cake, or, if using as a collar, dry fully before attaching.